the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in YouTube anime and manga community. Don't doubt the infinite. Please just do not do it. I've been thinking about the subject for like, what's going on, 2 weeks now. I mean, I'm caught up to the Hajime no Ippo manga, and for those who think it takes forever, no. Let's see, it was 2 years ago I went on a long hiatus, came back, and not even truly hardcore reading, 4 months. That's what it took me to catch up to the manga. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. And no, I did not watch the anime, by the way. Why did Makunochi Ippo need to get exposed? Because he definitely got exposed. And if you are not caught up anywhere close to the manga, do not watch this video. Unless you don't care about being spoiled. I'll drop in some references, but hopefully it won't be too many spoilers. I mean, even if you've seen the anime, you kind of get the gist of, because you're a little under halfway. I think the anime is a little under halfway through the series, but you kind of get the gist of this. Okay, the god of wind, Makunochi Ippo. He needed to be exposed. Now, mind you, this is no bias, because he is actually my favorite character in the series. Not simply because he's a protagonist, but for various reasons why he's my favorite character in the series. But Ippo needs to get exposed so much. Now, for those who don't know how I get down, I don't view boxing as simply a sport, and none of the martial arts. Boxing is a martial art. And martial arts are art. You know, you don't use the word in the definition, but anyways, for lack of a quick reference, they are art made for lethal combat. It is techniques and whatever else, skillful techniques made for lethal competition. Excuse me. That's the reality of what the martial arts are. Ippo is not a martial artist. Now, it doesn't mean that he can't win, because you've had very athletic people, you've had various world champions who are greatly athletic. They weren't necessarily martial artists. Interesting how that works. They were skilled. They had the prerequisite natural talents, or they build up certain things such as Ippo, but they weren't martial artists. What Takamaru said about the real monsters, the true monsters, as opposed to humans, is part of it. Ippo saying he didn't have the right mentality. Oh, that's definitely part of it, but he partially doesn't get it. Ippo's whole goal of what does it mean to be strong? You know, I want to be strong. That's part of it. Everything that's part of it. Part of what made him successful is what's part of what led him to his failure. Miguel, after the Wally fight, told them the great strategy, and I'm so glad that the mangaka George Marikawa, I think his name is, but the mangaka of Ippo, of Hajime no Ippo, did this and exposed him, because I've had issues with Ippo for the longest. Be pissing me off. Now, understand, here's the frustration. There's really 5 points as to why Ippo needed to and should have been exposed. He survived long enough. He survived in various fights, even though some you can argue he should have lost. Where he really needed to lose, against Dante Iji, and now was it Alfredo? I'm trying to remember. Alphonse? I know Gonzalez. I'm trying to think. Was it Alfredo Gonzalez? The death god? What's the Aztec name? I can't remember. But him and Dante Iji. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm slipping. But anyways, his losses. When he definitely needed to lose, when he clearly was outclassed, he took them out. He took those outs. Wally should have lost, but experience. There were other factors as to how Ippo was pulling out. And even though Ippo trains for stamina or whatever, there's one factor as to why he needs to take outs. Now, one of the major things, okay, out of the 5, is Ippo's fighting style. I do recognize Ippo's small and his short arms or whatever, and he's forced to be an fighter. But Ippo's fighting style, and I said it in the post, Ippo looks like he's straight out of the 20s, the 1920s. A fighter straight out of the 1920s. I understand he wanted to strip down. I applauded him for what he wanted to do. Him and Coach Kamigawa. Okay. Kamigawa, or whatever, Kamigawa. They want to go back, back in time and evolve and take from those past times and bring it today, which I think many more need to do because of some of the foolishness that goes on today. Go back to those little training methods, or at least go back to the fundamentals of the martial art of boxing, bare knuckle boxing and various other elements. But Ippo didn't evolve from that point. There's a reason they keep saying it, And it kept getting, and versus Gonzalez, he kept asking, he asked a phenomenal question. Who fights like this anymore? There's a reason fighters don't last like that anymore. And it's different, and I'll get to the point about some of these monsters in the headhunter generation that Ippo's a part of. I'll mention those, okay? And Takamaru and whatnot. But the thing is, Ippo has not evolved. He's hit a plateau. He's hit a cap. You can never hit a plateau. If you want to be a world champion, you can't do it. Especially a world champion that survives. Ippo is battling survival. Literal survival. His style of fighting can leave him dead. That's a fact. It can leave him brain dead. He is fortunate enough not to get rocked. The fact is, he's worried about coming back a lot. He's worried about not coming back hurt and stuff. It's too dangerous. He can't go 10 to 12 rounds with his fighting style. He just can't. He literally cannot do that. We've seen it time and time again. I think the longest he's ever fought is 8 rounds. Even Takamaru's fought a full 12. Miyata Ichiro has fought a full 12. You understand what I'm saying? Some of the best, they fought. Ippo's fighting style it doesn't allow for survival. It's offensive defense. It's too simplistic. I know everybody hypes up, the simple. I understand the straightforward goal and you gotta do what you gotta do. But it's too basic. It's too fundamental. And it's not a mastery of the fundamentals. It's too simplistic against legit talent, against legit skills, against the creme de la creme, the top dogs in the game. It ain't gonna work. Okay? So this fighting style is one of the reasons why I get exposed. I love elements of it, but it ain't gonna work. It's got too many flaws, too many holes. Takamaru talks about him being full of holes. It's true. Number 2, his mentality. He's never had the proper mentality. A match, I'm gonna train hard and this and that, and I'm gonna focus on the training and anything. What happens when you're getting thrown and your training comes up ineffective? Then what? You get exposed. That's exactly what. He's just fortunate that, his experience and whatever. And that's great. But what happens when you encounter someone you've never experienced before that your training does not account for? Then what? You're left out on the water. And he doesn't have the mental fortitude. Yeah, he's got the spirit. He's got the will to keep going forward. But he doesn't have the mental fortitude to think out, to survive those ways and to think outside the box. If you notice, every time he wins, he pulls out something that he remembers. He isn't a natural fighter, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reality. He knows this. He is insecure about himself. He doesn't have confidence. He doesn't think he's strong, even though he is. He's physically, you can say, a monster. He's got the elements. He's trained his body is what it is, but he does not have the mental wherewithal. So when he gets put in overwhelming odds, overwhelming, not, he believes he can, no, completely overwhelming odds against someone who outclasses him, I won't say he mentally crumbles, because that would be not accurate, and it's one of the things I love about Ippo. He does not mentally crumble, but he mentally shuts down. You cannot mentally shut down in a fight against a legit opponent. You just can't do it. So that's one of it. Point number 3 is that Ippo is not a martial artist. What I mean is, if you look at other series, for example, Son Goku from Dragon Ball, Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, what characters? Those are the top of my head. Hanmo Yujiro from the Baki series. Even Han Mabaki, Kanishiro Yu. I can mention going on and on. You could argue Thorfinn to a degree, from Vinland Saga, at least the point where I'm at in the series. You go on and on. Martial artists. Ippo thinks of this as a sport. Ippo takes this, kind of Takamaru was right, he takes it more of as a hobby. He likes being a pro, he understands, but he doesn't fully comprehend. He understands what it means to be a pro, but he doesn't fully comprehend. The fact is, he keeps bringing himself as a contender. I like the mentality sometimes, but Ippo, you can't, you got to come in there, train with the skills and whatever, but you have to have the mentality of a warrior. You have to live the life. You can't be part-time. You can't be thinking about retiring. You can't be thinking about the struggle. This has got to be your life. And if it's not your life, then you can't reach the top. You can't go in there, hoping to see if you can compete. You got to become, even though you maybe know you are lesser, you can't be going in there and thinking, well, I hope to do my best. That ain't gonna work. That ain't a martial artist. There's more to it, He's got elements of it because it's been instilled and ingrained in him, but he's not fully a martial artist. Not like the rest of the Headhunter generation in Takamaru and Itagaki to a degree, yeah. Itagaki as well. Okay. He's got elements, but he hasn't fully made that transition. And this far in his career, and he has not made it. He's over 20-some fights. Like 23, 24 fights. Like, come on, Ippo. What's up? What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think? Point number 4, he's content. I'm not saying don't be content. What I mean saying, in the ring, you gotta have that hunger, that drive, that passion, that ambition to be the greatest, to be the best, to continue on no matter what. Ippo was content to stop at times. He was content to stop where he met his secondary goal. Now his main goal was being strong with Miyata Ichiro. His coach had to remind him. He's like, oh, I'm okay, as long as, same thing. Oh, I'm okay as long as I'm able. You can't have that. You got to have that killer instinct. You got to have that ambition to be able to go above and beyond to the next level. And nothing's going to stop you. That is a necessity. It's a battle of survival once you're in the ring. He gets that, but he doesn't fully comprehend it. He's knocked out many people, and he still doesn't get it. He's fought people who've had ambitions or whatever. They may have not had the prerequisites, skills, talent, but he's fought to some of the people who've had the ambition. And he doesn't get it. He didn't learn from Sawamura. Okay? For example. He didn't learn. He didn't learn from Mishiba, Ryo. He didn't learn from Sendo Takeshi. He didn't. He didn't learn that this is what it takes. He didn't learn from Alexander Vorgzandri. He didn't learn. He hasn't learned from Takamaru. He hasn't learned from Itagaki Minabu. He hasn't learned. Now, I mentioned the Headhunter generation and Takamaru and Itagaki. Now, I will get more into depth with characters in a video I post after this, dealing with the main characters of the series of Ippo, of Hajime no Ippo. But, in brief, yes, he's part of the Headhunter generation, but he isn't like the rest of them. And he isn't like the Aladdin, Takamaru, Wally, Itagaki, okay? And who I mean by the Headhunter generation, because I've referenced that several times in this video. The Headhunter generation are those 5 who originally featherweights, mind you. The tops in Japan when Ippo first started out. And those are Makunochi Ippo, God of Wind Makunochi Ippo, White Fang, Alexander Vorgzandri, who again spoiled for some maybe. He reached the mountaintop. He became world champion before all of them. Was it junior lightweight? Yeah. No. Was it junior lightweight? I think so. Yeah, I think it was junior lightweight. Because Nishiba Ryo is now lightweight. Yeah. Of course, you got Grim Reaper, Mashiba Ryo. You got Lightning God, Miyata Ichiro. You got the Naniwa Tiger, Sendo Takeshi. You got those 5. Ippo, Miyata, Mashiba, Sendo, and Void. Those are the 5 who I consider ahead of new generation for a lot of different reasons. You also got Takamaru, okay, and we see what he's doing with all the world championships he's gotten in his quest and goal. We also see you got 2 actual geniuses. People get it twisted. Now, you got a genius and you got a fight genius. You got genius and Itagaki. Itagaki, Kronos got him tight. Itagaki. And what Itagaki brings to the table is the speed king. Then you got the fighting genius himself. The one who I truly think is the fighting genius. Do I think of Takamaru and Miyata as geniuses? No. I can maybe get into that in the video later. But, not this video, but the other video. But, Wally, this dude, fighting genius. I mean, natural abilities, ridiculous. Whatever he was able to adapt and just use stuff just naturally to fly. I mean, it just, oh my gosh, if he gets him experience, this dude too legit. Another featherweight. That's absolutely devastating. But the thing about it with those, they're all monsters. All of those besides Ippo are all monsters. They're all monsters in their own way. I mean, Miyata with his counterpunching. You got the Prince's Blade. Okay, that right, the killer right? That cross, that right cross counting. I mean, you got Vor with the white, the wolf. You know, the wolf. You got the prehistoric tiger. Beyond just the tiger, prehistoric tiger and Sendo. Yo, Sendo with his, oh my gosh, Sendo. So many things with his knuckles, with the smash and whatnot. And it's just his natural wild instincts. You got Mashiba, the Grim Reaper. Death God. I mean, he's a Shinigami out here. Okay, the Grim Reaper. And with his, you know, his chopping right, uppercut. And, I mean, the flicker jabs aside and whatnot. You got Takamaru doing what he does, okay? You got Itagaki and how he views and loves it so much. You saw Wally. I mean, Wally, though. That dude too legit. You got all these elements. And then you got Ippo, who's got the destructive punching power, KO power, and whatnot. But Ippo, he doesn't like those guys. He doesn't have the same vision. Even though there's some similarities, like, you know, Itagaki looks up to him, and he looks up to Miyata. You know, just this older fascination, admiration, and almost fear of these guys. You can't be afraid of those guys. I understand the admiration, but there is a certain point where it's gotta be, you gotta be one with, like, on that same level, ready to throw hands anytime. You see how Sendo and Mashiba get down? Anytime, bruh. So that's the thing, man. Ippo needed to get exposed for his own development. He needed to face this crossroads because right now, he was leading a path that led to destruction. Just trying your best ain't good enough. It ain't gonna win. You got to be the best. And that's the key difference. That is a key difference. I expect everyone to like, comment, subscribe. I hope y'all understand what I was getting at in this video. There's more I could probably say, but this is more on a general sense rather than going full in depth with, you know, the breakdown and analysis of his fighting style and everything else. But it's just some of the reasons why Ippo, I'm so glad he got exposed. I don't mind some of my man, you know, my favorite characters getting exposed. I mentioned Luffy, Goku, you know, Son Goku, and various other ones. I mean, you had Dan Kuso and Bakugan get exposed. You had Tyson Granger and Beyblade get exposed. I don't mind them getting exposed because sometimes taking those L's are necessary. If you're not able to evolve, you got to take L's that force you to evolve and to better yourself. It's the reality of it in advance. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. Gotta love that Ippo, man.